Today we're going to be responding to a viewer's comment. 54 Trying to be Yoke says, can you make a video talking about how to deal with bad days when one's diet, sleep, and training is all over the place and makes them feel like skipping days or program hopping? Also gives the sense of hopelessness if these bad days go on for a long time. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to say about this is that nobody's perfect. I think if you consume a lot of fitness content on social media, it's easy to start thinking that everyone else is flawlessly consistent and doing so much better than you. But just remember that people never show their true selves online. Everyone shows the highlights, and very few people talk about their struggles. From watching my videos, you might be getting the idea that I'm perfectly consistent and that I do everything right, but it's really not like that. I have bad days just like anyone else. Sometimes things come up, or I'm just not feeling well and I skip a day. It happens to me just like it can happen to anyone. I also feel hopeless sometimes, and I start questioning whether what I'm doing is even worth it. We wouldn't be human if we didn't feel these things. So just remember that what you're seeing online isn't an accurate representation of real life. And the people you watch probably experience the very same struggles that you do, even if they don't share them with you. Okay, so onto a more practical topic. Take a look at your training. Is it possible that maybe you're biting off a bit more than you can chew? Does your program realistically line up with your schedule, experience level, and work capacity? A lot of people get started in the gym and immediately jump on some kind of a 6-day per week split, for example. This can work for some people, but it's simply too much for the majority of novice lifters. Remember that you can make amazing gains training only 3 or 4 days per week. Steve Reeves, one of the best natural bodybuilders of all time, only trained 3 days per week. His workouts were long and intense, but even then he had more rest days than training days. So if you're new to the gym and you feel like you're having a lot of bad days, take a good look at your program and think about whether it's actually realistic for you to be doing that every single week. If you're trying to train hard 5 or 6 days per week as a novice, there's a good chance that you're doing more than your body is ready to handle. And dropping down to 3 or 4 days per week could work much better for you. Alright, the final thing I want to say is that bad days become much easier to deal with as you accumulate more experience. Once you do certain things for long enough, it just becomes a habit, and lifting is no different. Does that mean you do everything perfectly and never skip a day? No, of course not, but it means you can stop stressing about it. If I have a bad day or even a bad week, I don't start thinking, oh man, that's it for me. I'm never going to work out again. All my progress is lost. Same applies to my sleep and diet. Yeah, there are nights when I don't get any sleep and it affects my workouts. Or maybe I eat almost no protein one day for whatever reason. I just know that without a doubt, I'm going to be back at it next week, and the long-term impact on my progress is absolutely negligible. That's because my training is a part of me, and it's something which I plan to do in one form or another for the rest of my life. So why would I stress about one bad week? I'm going to be training for thousands of weeks. Now, if you're a total beginner and are already skipping weeks of training at a time, then you probably need to get your priorities straight. There's no YouTube video that's going to make lifting into a habit for you. You simply need to put the time in. But if you've been training for several years, then you'll know that a couple bumps in the road are not going to hold you back at all. Think about it like brushing your teeth every night. It's just a habit, a part of your routine. When you're a kid, you need your parents to remind you to brush your teeth, otherwise you just won't do it. But as an adult, you've been doing it for so long that you just keep doing it every day with minimal effort. Does it mean that if you pass out one night without brushing your teeth, that suddenly you're never going to brush your teeth again and they're all just going to fall out? No, you just brush them the next day and get on with your life. That's how I see my training at this point. I don't feel like I'm at risk of losing my gains if I have a couple bad days, because I've been doing it for long enough that it's a part of who I am now. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions. It might get turned into its very own video.